Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Liberty Center's Quarantine Theater. This is our second installment. Today, we are presenting to you an open mic night. To start things off, we have a couple of games from Fifth Street Improv. And the first game that we will be doing is called The Dating Game. It's going to feature Brad, Sara, Ruthie, Danielle, and myself. And without further ado, let me bring on the Fifth Street Improv team. So this is the dating game. So we need to get prompts for all of the three ladies. So we are going to send Brad back into the waiting room. So Brad, goodbye. So I need a prompt for Ruthie. I'm going to ask Amber, who's sitting in the living room with me, what character should Ruthie be?
She should be...
Anyone can throw out a prompt, by the way. It doesn't have to just come from me.
She should be... Little Orphan Annie.
Ruthie, you are Little Orphan Annie.
Oh, okay.
Who should Danielle be? Ruthie, you can pick for Danielle. I just picked for you.
Okay. Oh gosh. Danielle can be. She be. Oh my goodness. This is harder than it sounds. How about Danielle? You can be. I'm gonna just say a snowman. That's the first thing that came to my brain.
Okay, so Danielle is a snowman. And Chelsea just suggested Joe Exotic. So Sara, why don't you play as Joe Exotic?
Oh, that would have to be completely on the fly because I have not seen anything other than Facebook memes about Joe Exotic.
I think the Facebook memes will tell you everything you need to know.
Oh no. It's scary.
So Ruthie, you're Little Orphan Annie. Danielle, you are a snowman. And Sara, you are Joe Exotic. Let's bring Brad back in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to our newest installment of My Son is a Loser and I Need to Get Him Married. Today, I'd like to introduce everyone to my son, Jimmy, who has lived in my basement for 42 years, and I'm ready for him to get out. Jimmy, ladies, Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and start asking him some questions, and maybe one of these beautiful ladies will not see you for what you are.
Okay, thanks, Dad. All right, let's start out with Bachelorette number 1. What is the first thing you look for in a man?
Oh, well, since I come pretty much from nothing, I don't really expect much from a man, but the only man I've really ever known is my daddy, who's pretty darn rich. And he kind of took me out and took care of me when I was little and didn't have any place to go. And so I love my daddy. And he even took my dog in too, my dog Sandy.
I can empathize with that, trust me. All right, Bachelorette number 2, same question. What is it you look for in a man?
I look for a solid man, very stable. Water soluble would be great, but really I'm looking for someone who's just stable and someone who's cold like me. I'm a very cold person, so yeah, something too hot, someone too hot, like a Leonardo DiCaprio would just melt me right up.
That's interesting. Bachelorette number 3, same question for you. What do you look for in a man?
Well, you see, I really need a man who knows his animals. You have to be willing to preserve animals and love them so much. We just have to take good care of the wild animals that we have here.
I agree. I had a gerbil once. Okay, let's move on to the second question. Bachelorette number 1. I love a good road trip. Where is your favorite weekend getaway?
Wow. Well, I think just hanging out with my family, because family is so important to me. Like I said, I came from nothing. I was an orphan, and then I got taken into this mansion, and they've just taken such good care of me that I think if I had to go anywhere, we just keep going to the beauty parlor to get my hair dyed and permed.
Interesting. You obviously have a much better family than I do. Bachelorette number 2, same question. Where is your favorite weekend getaway?
Oh, wow. Well, personally, I'm not picky. Just anywhere with snow, anywhere cold. And you know what? I better not get peed on or I'm going to be super mad. But I love cold. What can I say? I love cold. And I also love a good top hat shop, which they're very hard to find these days. But I would definitely love to go somewhere cold, preferably where I can get a new top hat.
Okay, interesting. All right. Bachelorette number 3. What's your favorite destination?
My favorite destination on a weekend, we're going to have to go to the zoo for a safari. We might need to see if we can find any more exotic cats while we're out, just in case. We might need to bring some back with us. Yeah, I think that's exotic cats. Safari.
That could be fun. All right, let's see. Bachelorette number 1. What would be the perfect ending for our evening on our first date?
I think it would be just singing together and looking forward to the sun coming out in the morning. That's it.
Okay, well, all right, if you say so. Bachelorette number 2. What would be the perfect ending to our first date?
Oh, wow. There's so many things, but, probably just a very small kiss. We can't get too passionate and heated and hot, or else I'm just going to be in a puddle on the floor, and not in a good way. So honestly, I would just love it if you'd just give me a little peck and stick me in your refrigerator or freezer. Freezer might be better. Hopefully you have a walk-in freezer.
Okay. All right. Well, Bachelorette number 3, what would be the perfect ending for our date?
Maybe if all of us just sat around and watched the cats while that bitch Carol feeds them.
Okay.
So, Jimmy, now this is a big important decision. I paid all 3 of these women a lot of money to be here today, and I need you to pick one of them. So hopefully you can kick it off. So tell me what you think of these 3 lovely ladies.
All right. Well, I can tell you that the date that Bachelorette number 2 described sounds pretty interesting. I kind of like the cold, and it wouldn't be the first date that ended up with a woman in my freezer, but I'm going to have to say no thanks to the snow woman man thingy. No.
Okay, well, we'll have the snowman leave. We'll catch you next winter. What about the other 2?
All right. The first one, Bachelorette number 1, you're just a little more needy than me, and well, I can't have that. So I don't want to get bogged down with all of the baggage that comes with an orphan. So I'm just going to have to let you go on your way and let Daddy Warbucks take care of you because I'm the complete opposite.
Annie, the sun is not coming out tomorrow. Go away.
Bye. And so then the last bachelorette, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I'm all open for new experiences, and I'm all about the tigers and the tiger kings and queens and, you know, the biting and the scratching. And hook me up, Daddy.
Sounds like we'll get married, all of us. All of us can get married together.
I understand you were looking for a new person for your throuple, so I think this should work well. All right, now, get out.
Let's go.
Pack your bags. Come on, you're coming to the zoo.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was our first game. Up next, we're going to do another quick game for you. This one's called Good, Bad, and Ugly. This is a game for everyone. We're going to feature 2 hosts. We will have Brad and Danielle kind of hosting and asking some questions. And then Ruthie, Sara, and I will be answering those questions. Ruthie will be giving good answers, good advice. Sara will be giving so-so or bad advice. And then I will be giving really bad, ugly advice. So if everyone in the team could join back in.
Okay, welcome back to another edition of You Ask, They Tell, the only show in America where you get expert advice from not 1, not 2, but 3 experts. Joining us tonight on the panel, Dr. Ruthie, who has a PhD in psychology from Columbia University and has been a practicing psychologist for 19 years. Next up is Sara D., who has an advice column in the Central City Weekly Reader. And our third panelist is Carl Sagist, who is a new blogger, and he claims he learned everything he ever needed from his BFF, Rodney Pickles, and Mrs. Renfro from East Central Junior High.
Damn straight.
His blogs are available at badboyblocker.mydomain.wordpress.com. Joining us tonight, a special guest, Danny Cooper. Danny, I understand you're in a bit of a pickle yourself and would like some expert help. Danny, you ask, they'll tell.
Okay. Thanks for having me. I am so glad to be here. You know, like, I love my husband so much, okay? But, like, his parents don't like me at all. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You know, I only called his mom the B word like once or twice, maybe 5 times. So I'm really like not sure how to make his parents like me. Like, how do I get my in-laws to like me?
Wow. Great question from Danny there. We get that question a lot, but not for these 3 experts. Let's start off with Dr. Ruthie. Dr. Ruthie, how can you help Danny?
Well, Danny, I have to tell you that relationships are very, very hard sometimes. And you have to start out by being nice to them, which I know you are. You seem like a very, very nice girl. But you might want to perhaps offer to make dinner for them sometime and invite them over. That way you can experience each other in a relaxed, comfortable, and family type of setting. And then I would suggest that you each go your separate ways and have some good sex.
There you go. Thank you, Dr. Ruthie. Some great advice. Let's go over to Sara D., who is that expert columnist. Sara, what advice could you give Danny?
First, you need to forget what she just told you. All of that was from textbook stuff, and none of that ever applies to real life. After all of my years of being around married couples, the best advice I could give you is to just pretend that you like them even though you don't. And when she's got her back turned, You roll your eyes and you make all of the gestures that you would like to make every time. You can even run around behind her back just to get it done. It'll make you feel better on the inside, and she'll never know the difference anyway.
All right. Thank you, Sara. Carl, what advice would you have from expert blogger?
So here's the thing. Nobody actually likes their in-laws. What everybody really likes is that fat inheritance that comes from the in-laws. So what you need to do is set up a family vacation. You know, take your boyfriend, your hubs. I couldn't pay attention to what you were saying. And take them out with their parents on some family vacation. Make sure you each drive your own cars, and you doctor their brakes. So you go around the corner and they don't, and boom, you're rich from their money, and you don't care if they like you anymore or not.
Wow. All right. Well, Danny, what do you think of your advice tonight?
Well, I love what everyone said. But honestly, I listen to a lot of true crime, so I think I'd be able to get away with killing somebody. I feel very confident in my murdering abilities. So you know what? Carl, thank you. I never would have thought of that. Just get rid of the problem and get the money.
All right. There you have it. Expert advice. Join us next week on another edition of You Ask, They Tell.
So that will do it for Fifth Street Improv for a short period of time. We will change it up for a little bit and shift over to Chelsea and Jeromy. They have a reading from, I believe, The Importance of Being Earnest. That's the next adult show that we're doing in our quarantine theater series. So Chelsea and Jeromy, if you would both log in, and you can take it away.
I've never met any really wicked person before. I'm rather frightened. I'm afraid he'll look just like everyone else. He does.
Oh, you are little Cecily, I'm sure.
You are under some strange mistake. I am not little. In fact, I believe I am more than usually tall for my age. But I am Cecily. And you, I see from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother, Ernest. Wicked Ernest.
Oh, I'm not really wicked at all, Cecily. You mustn't think that I'm wicked.
If you are not, then you have most certainly been deceiving us all in an excusable manner. I hope you have not been leading a double life, pretending to be wicked all the time and really being good. That would be hypocrisy.
In fact, now you mention the subject, I have been very bad in my own small way.
I don't think you should be so proud of that. Though I'm sure it must have been very pleasant.
It is much pleasanter being here with you.
I can't understand how you are here at all. Uncle Jack won't be back until Monday afternoon.
That is a great disappointment. I'm obliged to go up by the first train on Monday morning. I have a business appointment that I am anxious to miss.
Couldn't you miss it anywhere but in London?
No, the appointment is in London.
Oh, well, I know, of course, how important it is to not to keep a business engagement if one wants to retain any sense of the beauty of life. But still, I think you'd better wait until Uncle Jack arrives. I know he wants to speak to you about your immigrating.
About my what?
You're immigrating. He's gone up to buy your outfit.
I certainly wouldn't let Jack buy my outfit. He has no taste in neckties at all.
I don't think you'll require neckties where you're going. Uncle Jack is sending you to Australia.
Australia? I'd sooner die.
Well, he said at dinner on Wednesday that you would have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
The accounts I have received of Australia and the next world are not particularly encouraging. This world is good enough for me, Cousin Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
I'm afraid I'm not that. That is why I want you to reform me. You might make that your mission, if you don't mind, Cousin Cecily.
I'm afraid I've no time for it this afternoon.
Well, would you mind my reforming myself this afternoon?
I think you should try.
I will. I feel better already.
You're looking a little worse.
Well, that is because I'm hungry.
Oh, how thoughtless of me. I should have remembered that when one is to lead an entirely new life, one requires regular and wholesome meals. Won't you come in?
Thank you. Might I have a flower first? A pink rose?
Why?
Because you are like a pink rose, Cecily.
I don't think it can be right for you to talk to me like that. Miss Prism never says such things to me.
Then Miss Prism is a short-sighted old lady. You are the prettiest girl I ever saw.
Miss Prism says all good looks are a snare.
They are a snare that every sensible man would like to be caught in.
Oh, I don't think I would care to catch a sensible man. I wouldn't know what to talk to him about.
Okay, so that was Chelsea and Jeromy. Next up, we have another Fifth Street improv game. This one is called Eulogy, and it features the entirety of the group. The premise behind Eulogy is that, let me bring everyone back in. The principle of Eulogy is that someone has died, and we have a minister who is delivering a memorial service. Danielle is actually going to be that minister, and so I am going to send Danielle back out to the waiting room so she cannot hear what we are going to say. Goodbye, Danielle. And so now we need to know from anyone who is in the stream or anyone in the group who died and how they died. Okay, I've just gotten a hint that Jennifer Lopez died. So how did Jennifer Lopez die? Anyone?
Bee stings.
Jeromy Layman has said she died from a broken hip, so we are going to go with a broken hip. A painful way to go. And do we say who we all are as mourners, or do we figure that out as we go? I say we figure that out as we go. So let me bring Danielle back in, and she should be joining back in right now. And Danielle, whenever you are ready, you can unmute and go.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I forgot my robes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here for this very, very sad occasion. We here at the First Church of the United Wizards, we take funerals very seriously. We take deaths very seriously, and there's nothing sadder than a funeral. We will be taking an offering up after the funeral is over. It will go towards my personal fund. Thank you. So we are all just so sad that our dear brother,
Get back, devil.
sister,
Get back, devil.
also a sister in the Warlock has passed, and I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on this, and just let the people know what really happened so we can all mourn properly. I would like you in the black shirt, please, just give us the details. Let us know what is on your heart for this dear sister.
Well, we grew up together, and she never forgot where she came from, the block. She was always from the block. She would come back and see us. She was from the block. She was that girl from the block.
So you're telling me she's from the block. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I'm so glad that she continued to come back to your block and visit. How wonderful. What a wonderful memory. You there in the blue floral, and the beautiful speckled facial hair. Tell me what's on your heart and mind.
It was just such a tragedy to see it happen. She and her fiance, they were viewing his baseball paraphernalia, and she tripped on a baseball and fell flat right on her most valuable asset, and it broke and I've never seen anything like it in all of my years of managing the baseball museum. It shatters me that this happened to her.
I think I'm beginning to get a sense of what's going on here. You can never have too many great assets in this world. You there you're also you have glasses on. Go ahead, tell us what's happening. What's on your heart?
I feel guilty in a way. I mean, when I was teaching her to plie and do some of those other moves, I had a sense that she was weak there, but she never let on. And then when I realized that something could be amiss, I just kept pushing her to excel and do those jumps and do those leaps, and it's my fault.
It sounds like it is. It sounds like it is your fault. But take comfort, I'm sure, at least 50% positive she's in a better place, or at least something a little more decent. Lastly, you, who's also in front of a brick wall, please tell me any remaining thoughts that you have about this young woman.
As her physician, I've warned her for years that this was bound to happen, that you cannot simply carry around and shimmy and shake like one does with all that junk up in that trunk and not expect some serious displacement to occur. Much to her chagrin, unfortunately, it came to fruition and popped right out, I'm afraid. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for your loss, really.
Well, yes, we're all very, very sad for our dear sister, Jennifer Lopez.
Praise Jesus.
Also known as J-Lo.
That's my girl.
That we lost such a gem. After she gyrated on that Super Bowl stage and divided America, offended so many and empowered so many, really, she was on such a high after that. But it was short-lived. And, March was the worst month in the entire history of ever. And let's just add to that J-Lo's death by butt explosion. Her butt, when she landed on her butt, it burst, and consequently her body just shattered to pieces because it was held together by that juicy booty. Am I in the neighborhood?
Yes, amen. Amen.
We'll give you that, yes.
Teacher. Yes.
Do butt implants also fall out and strangle her?
No. We were just going for broken hip, but exploding butt is much better.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
What happened?
if you break a butt, you break a hip. It's all the same.
It is.
We will be, again, we will have a potluck dinner. All the witches and warlocks have cooked up many a great feast, and just leave your Bitcoins with me. I take PayPal. So thank you all so much. And may she be gyrating on the blocks of heaven or hell. My child is out the window, and that scared the out of me. Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Okay, so that will do it for Fifth Street Improvs for a short amount of time. We are now going to turn over to Chris Clark. Chris, if you are available.
Hello there.
Hello. Take it away, Chris.
While I have you on here, Carl, before we start, I forgot to ask you this at the outset. I wasn't sure about the time frame tonight, so I've got 4 songs ready to go. Would you like to hear 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them?
Do 2 of them, then we will have Alli read her bit. I'll read some. You can do 2 more, and then we'll end with Fifth Street and Chelsea.
Sure, that works for me.
Okay.
All right, hi, everybody. This is a song about a time I bet we all can't wait for. Summertime and the living is easy. The catfish are jumping and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking. Hush, little baby, no, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings. You're gonna take to the sky. Until that day, you can hush up your crying, 'cause your mama and your pappy's standing by your side. Summertime and the living is easy. Them old catfish are jumping, Lord, the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking. Hush, little baby, no, don't you cry. Hush, little baby, no, now don't you cry. Hey, all right. Good to be here with you tonight. Hope everybody's taking good care of themselves. Crazy, crazy times, I know. I need a capo for this next song. I did not write this song, but I sure wish I had. And since yesterday was Good Friday, this seemed like an appropriate song to play for y'all. I'm going to scoot back a little, just a touch here. Do my best Gilderoy Lockhart and say, can everybody see me? Can everyone hear me? All right. The song is called Barabbas. I heard the judge ask the jury, which one's the one to go? I heard him call my name, but why I'll never know. They unchained my feet, they unshackled my hands, and they let me go instead of that innocent man. Got a second chance, I'm gonna make it count. I'll make my way out west, maybe head down south. Lead the life of a pardoned man, believing in things I don't understand. Well, the guilt hangs twice as heavy when it's followed by surprise. I surrendered, I was ready to give up and do my time. I do not know his name, do not know why he was there, but on the side of forgiveness, we both had our cross to bear. Got a second chance, I'm gonna make it count. I'll make my way out west, maybe head down south. Lead the life of a pardoned man, believing in things I don't understand. Well, I know that I am free because they did not like his kind. But a man who preaches peace is always looking for a fight. Now I must go on, not knowing where I'm bound, as I try to make the most of this new freedom I have found. I got a second chance, I'm gonna make it count. I'll make my way out west, maybe head down south. Lead the life of a pardoned man, believing in things I don't understand. Got a second chance, I'm gonna make it count. I'll make my way out west, maybe head down south. Lead the life of a pardoned man, believing in things I don't understand. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. That was very nice. Next up, we have Alli Bowlin. You are on? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Alli, take it away.
All right. This has been a really awesome show, and I'm very glad I was a part of it. Everyone, I'm going to be doing a few poems that I've written. Not songs or improv or anything, but I'm excited. I wrote them. So my first one is called Painting Flowers. And this is how it goes. She was an artist, a beautiful, creative, and talented woman who created paintings with the same description. She mixed paints like she mixed emotions. She colored canvas like she saw the world. Her favorite things to paint were flowers. She believed that flowers were like her, delicate but mighty. She envied the alluring plants of thousands of hues, wondered if they saw the world as she did, as a blank canvas, always in need of more paint. The blossoms spoke to her and her only. She translated their exotic tongue into brush strokes and created something more brilliant than even she was. So that's my first poem. See, I found most of these by scrolling through my notes section whenever I was asked to do this earlier this afternoon. So it's been great. I've had fun. This next one is one that I wrote a long time ago, and it's honestly my favorite poem I've ever written, and it's called Small Town Talent. I am talented, but only small town talented. The kind of talented that leaves you in a town smaller than the one you started in. The kind of talented that is only ever compared to people who didn't really care about their talents. The kind of talented that lands you a few lead roles in high school and community theater and then drops you, penniless, in the New York City streets, singing about the beautiful life you could have had. The kind of talented that could have made it if they tried. The kind of talented that will one day regret not taking every opportunity. I'm the kind of talent that gets to direct plays at 16. The kind of talent that takes form as this enormous glowing sign that says in big bright letters, "Look over here, this girl is going to do something phenomenal." The kind of talent that can't see that sign because it's over their head. Only every now and again do they get to see the light the sign makes reflected into other people's eyes. I'm the kind of talent that refuses to back down because they're making me proud. The kind of talent that will stop when it's dead and probably not even then. The kind of talent that takes its tears and writes poetry, the kind of talent that takes to heart and soul and makes more talent. Do you know that kind of talent? That misplaced dreamer kind of talent. That never stops for anything kind of talent. That stronger because I came from haystacks and cow pies kind of talent. That works harder to make it than anyone else kind of talent. I'm the kind of talent that sometimes lacks confidence. The kind of talent that gets scared of nothing but keeps going. The kind of talent that makes mistakes and accepts it. The kind of talent that will accept failure in all forms because they're even better because of it. The kind of talent that is determined to see the world. The kind of talent that the world is determined to see. I am talented, and I'm that small town kind of talented. So that's my favorite poem I've ever written. The third poem I have is just a lot of fun to say. I have an obsession with like alliteration and things like that, and so I was trying to see if I can like double up alliteration in a poem. So I have a lot of S sounds and a lot of like W sounds going on in here at once, and it's, I don't know, I love it. Anyways, alliteration experiment 1. Seconds pass like centuries while weeks whirl by, and I'm watching without words. My world slowly walks out of sight, satisfyingly strolling without seeing me, singing a song with wads of words which are whimsical while unfamiliar, singing while smiling wonderfully without seeing what sad, wearisome scenes wander sorrowfully by. That one's hard to say, so I apologize, but I love saying that one. And then finally, my mom told me to do this one. I actually wrote this for my English class last year and I got a C on it, so that sounds great whenever you first hear about it, but I think it's something that people kind of need to hear, that according to my mother, that's what she says, that people might need to hear this right now. So, Peace, the new musical. At this moment, the world is practicing for a new musical called Peace. Many countries have not yet been cast, but slowly they are finding their places. The nations that do have roles have been tirelessly working towards opening night, although there have been many setbacks, such as harmonies occasionally clashing. The choreography is exhausting, props are missing, the set needs to be finished, the blocking is rough, the costumes need to be refitted, and the orchestra keeps squeaking. But humanity has not forgotten that this production, however difficult to accomplish, is the closest it has ever been to opening night. And so they keep pushing forward, each man, woman, and child, all rehearsing lines, practicing choreography, reviewing blocking. Each country, every cast member, always helping the others. Of course, there are quarrels and disagreements, as they are bound to happen. But everyone knows what they're rehearsing. Everyone knows what they are rehearsing for, and eventually the spat is silenced and the work continues. Day and night for thousands of years, the process has been in full swing. Endless amounts of time and energy from cast and crew, and just now, the time has come. Opening night is almost here. We can all feel it. And when that curtain closes on the first performance of this wondrous musical, I'm sure it will receive a standing ovation. We should all take a bow. Okay, that was all my poems. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to watch the rest of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Alli. That was really, really good. You should be proud of yourself. Okay, next up, I have some poems to read, and I should not have put myself going after Alli because I can't compete, but here goes. I write short poems. They do not go together, although there is a consistent theme between several of them. So anyway, first one. Riding home. The sun is warm on my face. Eyes closed, bright red and white on my eyelids. Staccato shadows from passing trees. Peace. The next one. Night. Crushing humidity rolls in. Rain starts. Cool breezes drift through the house, shades clattering softly. Blissful sleep. The next one. She asks for my attention. Her breath is warm against my ear. The sounds are meaningless. I knew her thoughts before she leaned in. Her raspy words are emotions in flight. She speaks from my soul. The next one. Racing through the night. Headlights blinding as they pass. Chasing taillights ever onward without stopping. A city rises from the darkness. Almost home. And finally, driving home in the dark. Foggy windshield streaks everything I see. Starburst headlights come towards me, dazzling my vision as they pass. Yellow dashes blur into lines, endlessly guiding me along. Oh, that is my hand at poetry. Next up, we have some more from Chris Clark. He said he had 2 more for us. Chris, are you still there?
I am.
Okay. Well, Chris, take it away.
I'll take a moment to give some props to Alli Bowlin. That was insane. Good writing, girl. You can edit that out if you need to. But... All right, this is a song by one of my heroes. You can't even imagine the torturous state I've been existing in. I am allergic to water. It itches my throat and it blisters my skin. Still, I drink 'cause I have to. I bathe 'cause I have to. But boy, it's a pain. And I don't cry 'cause it hurts to cry. And I don't go outside in the rain. may wonder what would possess someone like me to go on. You might wonder how it's possible something so basic could end up so wrong. All I can say is if you stretch your mind, yeah, stretch it as far as it goes. Someone out there who lives further than that in a place you can never know. So right now, if you're looking at me, you can assume that I am thirsty. And a good day is one when that ache in my brain can remain at a doable 3. I ain't asking for your sympathy, I'm just telling you so you'll understand. This is me, sincerely just doing the best that I can. All right. That's called Allergic to Water. I love that song. All right, I'll do one more, and this is one of my favorite songs about hope. Something we all could use a little bit of right now. Dear Prudence, won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence, greet the brand new day. The sun is up, the sky is blue, they're beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. Won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence, open up your eyes. Dear Prudence, greet the sunny skies. The clouds will make a daisy chain, so let me see you smile again, dear Prudence. Won't you open up your eyes? Look around, round, 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 round. Look around, round, 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 Thanks, everybody.
Chris, that was really nice. Thank you very much. Next up, we have one final piece from Fifth Street Improv. And then we will end the show tonight with Chelsea. So let's have the Fifth Street team back up. This game is called Conducted Story, or we're going to call it Mute Story tonight, because we are going to tell a story, and I am going to randomly mute and unmute people's microphones, and nobody knows when it's going to happen, not even me sometimes. And we'll see how it goes. We're going to try to tell a cohesive story. So what I need from anyone who is listening is a topic. Could be anything. Amber? A topic for a story.
An outing to the zoo.
Oh, sorry, Alli Bowlin beat you.
Okay.
Our story is about Martians. So,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. I have to have my phone plugged in. It's about to die, so.
Okay. So I am going to mute everyone. Ruthie and who am I looking for? Who did I forget? Sara. There we go. So I'm going to mute myself, and then I will randomly turn on someone's microphone, and we will see how this works.
Martians, the original illegal aliens trying to invade Earth. One day, unbeknownst to you, you'll wake up and you won't be able to leave your house because they'll be running amok all over. I can't.
They're not green. They really aren't. If you've seen one like I have, I mean, I went up on the spaceship with me. I've got the scars by my belly button to prove it. They're yellow. Yellow is the color of a Martian, not green. And when they take you into their spaceship, they don't show you around. It's not like a tour, look at my spaceship and the cool. No. They do these weird things to you, like put things under
your butt. They put lots of things under your butt and in your nose and on your forehead. They're trying to read your thoughts while also trying to figure out how to cook a good apple pie. That's really what most of them want to know.
And I mean, I like a good apple pie as much as the next person, but why would you travel all the way across the galaxy to go to some random planet to learn to bake a pie? I mean, yeah, they're good, but they're not that good. I mean, come on.
You would almost call this bizarre, but bizarre is overrated. The thing is, apple pie, Martians don't even have a mouth to eat apple pie. They're going to suck it in through their eyeball that they're having, and they're trying to eat our apple pie with their eyeball. Yellow Martians.
And it sounds just as disgusting as it sounds. Just imagine someone trying to suck a whole pie and chunks and apples and crumble topping through their eyeball. It's disgusting, but I suppose it works for them.
It's kind of like my uncle, who used to do headstands and have champagne bottles inserted rectally, and he would drink his champagne that way. It was really the only way he could get a good buzz off of a cheap bottle of champagne. I think the Martians are trying to do the exact same thing with apple pie in the eye.
I mean, you'd think that the chunks would hurt, but apparently they don't. They seem to enjoy them. It just adds to everything, I guess. But it just always skeeved me out watching them just shoving the chunks of apple pie into their eye. It's just wow.
It's like a vacuum motion. But to say that I am scarred is a gross understatement, because I will forever have the image of being inside of their space capsule with them trying to get this information from my head. And I don't even know how to make an apple pie from scratch. So that's where
They're looking for my grandmother's long lost recipe. We each have a code, our family. I have part of the recipe. My sister has another part of the recipe. My brother has the other part. They have to catch us all in order to get this recipe. And I think what it is a grand scheme. They want to take us to Mars and steal our apple pie recipes so they can inundate Mars with apple pies. And that will make their planet more desirable for humans to go to and live there. And when we live there, oh, it's unspeakable what will happen to the humans
when we get there, we will have our apple pie there with us. So it'll be just like home. And we'll just be so happy and content with apple pie. I hope they find somebody to find the homemade.
Find the true recipe to peace and love amongst our two kinds of people, because ultimately that's what this world needs.
Is just peace and harmony with not only the people of this world, but people of the other world. And you know what? If Joe...
And you know what? That can be brought about through a beautifully baked apple pie with crisp, flaky pastry and perfectly seasoned apples. And that was the entirety of my story about being kidnapped by Martians. Thank you. That will do it for Fifth Street Improv for tonight. I know. We have one more act to go. Chelsea, if you are still on, we are going to end with you. And there she is.
I am. All right.
Okay.
To end our show tonight, I thought we'd end everything with a note from Shakespeare himself, who interestingly also created a lot of quarantine theater and used, I won't say the plague to his advantage, but created a lot during the plague. So from Shakespeare himself. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear, and this weak and idle theme, no more yielding but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest puck, if we have the unearned luck not to escape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long, else the puck a liar call. And so, a good night unto you all. Give us your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends.
That was perfect. I'd like everybody else to turn on their video one last time so we can do kind of a makeshift curtain call. Tonight we had Chris Clark, Chelsea Turner, Jeromy Layman, Ruthie Hart Schlomer, Sara Schell, Brad Henderson, Alli Bowlin, and Danielle Knight. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you have enjoyed this episode of Quarantine Theater, please consider making a donation to the Liberty Center. And we look forward to catching you next time. Thank you, everyone.